Hi, everyone. This is our second episode for Dreamcatchers Podcast, where I will be interviewing my guest, Dante Works, and he will be talking about his organization, House of Veterans. I hope you enjoy it. Hi, everyone. I'm Joey. I am the founder of Dreamcatchers, which is a nonprofit that is geared to helping previously incarcerated or incarcerated single mothers. I have a guest here with me. Why don't you introduce yourself?
Dante Works. I'm the owner of House of Veterans, which is a for-profit business. We provide housing to homeless vets and veterans who were formerly incarcerated.
Okay. Where are you from?
So I'm from Homewood. That's actually where our residents are in Homewood, the community I was born and raised in. So I still do a lot of my businesses in the community.
Okay, I'm from Down Normer, so
Okay.
we're not far from each other. Why don't you tell me something interesting about yourself that not too many people know?
So the last couple of years, being that I've been doing quite a few things, but primarily the House of Veterans, people were surprised when they found out I have a background in law enforcement. I like to believe they're surprised because of the community I grew up in.
Mm-hmm.
Most times you don't gravitate to law enforcement, but
Mm-hmm.
that was something I wanted to do and I enjoyed doing coming from that community. So when they found out I have a background in law enforcement, they're kind of like, surprised. So
What geared you to go into that?
Honestly, just having a family and community of criminal activity.
Mm-hmm.
In my younger days, thinking if I can get a badge, I can save my family members and community members. So it was kind of like a negative reinforcement that drove me to that place. But that was what inspired me, was the saving of the community and family members who are, going to jail in and out.
Oh, okay. So what part of the law enforcement did you participate in?
I was with the parole and probation, adult parole and probation in Allegheny County. I did that for 13 years. Different capacities within the agency. One of the unique things is I was able to supervise in my community. So Homewood was a community that I supervised, primarily the east side, but it's unique when you can provide law enforcement services and supervision in your community.
Yeah. Most of us, we prefer to be, helped out by police officers and, judges and things like that who do come from our community, because then they understand where we come from. They understand our stripes, other than, having somebody from out like North Hills.
Right. And that's, I think, a lot of times that's the breakdown in law enforcement, is that not a lot of blacks are in law enforcement. So you get a lot of people from the suburbs and other cultures who then come to the black community and don't have much cultural competency. And so they're implementing things that if they understood the community, it would probably be more of a service than sentences.
Right. I totally agree. So what are you doing now? Are you still involved in
So
law
so
enforcement?
now with the House of Veterans, I'm still involved with probation. We get a lot of guys who are referred from the court due to my relationship with the court, and also due to the environment that we provide at our houses, that they're conducive to success.
Okay.
So, like you said, understanding this population and what success looks like upon reentering into community is very important. So we focus on those type of things in the house setting.
Now, you mentioned House of Veterans. Tell me something about that. What is it?
So House of Veterans, I started in 2017. It started from me watching a movie called Hacksaw Ridge, and exposed me to a soldier by the name of Desmond Dawes. Desmond Dawes was a soldier. He was a medical guy in the military, and he didn't carry a weapon, but he was able to save 75 lives in one day during one battle. And the unique thing about him was his belief in Christ. And so he didn't want to carry a weapon, but he was just very instrumental in that battle that day. And so once watching that and knowing veterans are homeless, really sparked my interest to want to kind of end homelessness for veterans.
Okay. So you help out veterans who were incarcerated?
Correct.
Okay,
Yep.
okay, cool, cool, cool. Um, what's your overall ratio where you have successful
So
stories?
right now we're at a 68% success rate. The way I come up with that figure is how many veterans have come into the home and how they left the home.
Mm-hmm.
So you can leave on bad terms, you can leave successfully, or you could just leave.
Mm-hmm.
However, the goal was for them to move in, move up, and move out,
Mm-hmm.
so that when they move on from the House of Veterans, they're either buying their own home, they're getting their own apartment, they're getting married, they're starting a family. So those are the things that I use to measure our success at the House of Veterans. It's not just renting and leaving, but it's supporting them while they're there to get to a place of where they feel comfortable. It's
Mm-hmm.
not where I think they should be, where they should be. So it's been very successful because the accountability that's required when living at one of our properties.
Okay, okay. So how do you get the gas? What's that
So we got
process?
referral sources. Sometimes I do a lot of time traveling to penitentiaries.
Mm-hmm.
So I go to penitentiary, speak to the men, let them know that resources are available. Allegheny County has specialty courts, Veterans Court being one of them. So a veteran who acquires a criminal charge, they go to Veterans Court, and then they get programming and help and assistance, which lessens their sentence. So that's another referral source. And there's other agencies. We take homeless veterans who are off the street who may
Okay.
not have been incarcerated.
Okay, okay.
But the ones that are coming out of incarceration, those are the ones that I specifically spend most of my time with.
So do you help them with like job positioning and education and things like that?
Right. So depending on the veteran's need, because a lot of times in a penitentiary setting, there are skills that they learn. They typically come out with a license and some other things. If they participate in reentry programs, that prepares them for the reentry. So when they get to my house, I do an assessment, determine what their needs are, what their barriers are. We know statistically 6 months after being released, housing and employment is very important, and it'll cut back on recidivism. Typically, if they don't have two of those things in place, the likeliness of them returning to jail is very high. So we focus on their need, and they have to be transparent and explain to us what they want to do and how they want to do it, and then we go from there. So it's just an assessment tool we use. Instead of just saying, hey, you're going to go get a job, it's like, what do you want to do?
Right.
And then we support them in that.
Give them the option. So like Dream Catchers is faith based. How does your program interact with religion?
That was one of the things that I kind of had to decide of leaving probation and parole, was because a lot of time when people ask me my story, my story is a testimony. It's God in my life. It's me doing the things for people what God has done for me.
Yes.
And typically in that situation, you can't really speak about our religion. You don't have the time, and it's frowned upon. So I felt like I needed to be in a place where I can share my testimony and share what Christ has done for me.
Yes.
So I can do that in my veterans house. So it's not a requirement, but it is something that needs to happen upon entry. And it's not pushing religion on anybody. It's just when they ask you how you got here, how did you do this? Who helped you? And then, my answer is God. And so that opens the door up for ministry. So I enjoy that I'm able to share that with the men who come into the house. A lot of men in recovery, they go to AA and NA, they're using documents and systems that derive from the Bible.
Right.
So a lot of them guys, they're already familiar with it.
Right.
It's just tying it all together with this original state, and opposed to where they've come in contact with it NA, they'll get to see how it ties into the Bible and things that I share with them in my faith.
Okay. That sounds really interesting. So, are the guys like opening, like receiving when it comes to the whole faith situation?
Yeah, uniquely, a lot of guys will say they found religion in jail, whether it's Muslim, whether it's white supremacy, whether it's Christian. So you're basically reconnecting them with the faith that's outside of the penitentiary, because you don't have as much time to devote to it, because now you're back on the street and you have to get a job, you have to do these things. So they really appreciate it. You know, I have guys who are Buddhists. I have guys who are different religions,
Right.
but they appreciate the fact that we have a belief system
Yeah.
that we draw upon through this journey of re-entering into the community.
Okay. Okay. So you were saying that right now your organization is not a nonprofit. That
Correct.
what is it? What is it
It's a
exactly?
for-profit LLC.
But you want to turn it into a nonprofit.
Yeah, I like to turn it into a nonprofit. That'll open up some doors for more resources for more people. You know, a lot of people want to donate, but there's no tax write-off. So it's just a structural change. For me, because it's more of a ministry, I never really looked at the financial part of it. You know,
Right.
it's always serving, and it's worked. You know, but I also realized that if you want sustainability and long-term success, then you're going to have to seek some financial avenues instead of your pocket.
So for me, my organization is pretty new. I just started actively working it in December, where we gave toys to about 10 children, 10 families. No, I think it was like 15 children, 10 families. And so what advice would you give myself moving forward to, I guess, keep my nonprofit going, or just, being successful?
One of the first things that I pose to people when they come to me and they ask about business ventures and how I did it, the question I ask myself is, what I'm doing today, would I do it for free? And if the answer is yes, then you're in a good place. You're pretty much in your purpose. When you're in your purpose, it allows you to be vulnerable, allows you to be transparent, allows you to be an effective leader because you're doing it because you've been assigned to do it. The people that we help are a result of our desire to be in our purpose. So they get your business is an overflow of who you are. So if it's a financially driven business, it's a self-exhortation driven business, it's probably going to fail once you meet enough success or you meet enough money. But it's when it's something you want to do until you pretty much leave the earth, then you're in a good place. And I've learned that being that I'm creating businesses for my passion and my purpose, the resources are provided. Even when you don't have resources, you're still enjoying the moment of what you want to really do. So whether there's money involved or not, it doesn't require financial assistance to fill out a resume and help someone get a job.
Right.
It doesn't require financial assistance to take someone to the DMV and get a license. So those are the things that these people struggle with, and just simple good advice, sound advice. And so I encourage people to not do it for the money or the notoriety. Do it because it's a passion of yours. And, when people don't receive you well or take advantage of you, it really doesn't matter, because it wasn't about the people. It was about what you've been called to do and what, for me, what God has called me to do.
Right.
So I really can't be taken advantage of, because I'm doing it for another reason.
Right.
So there's really nothing to take from me. I can only give, So that's the kind of advice I like to give people in the nonprofit or in the for-profit, But when you're serving and you're in service, just stay in a service perspective of, I didn't help this guy, but I'm gonna help the next guy, and keep opening the door to help people.
One more question. How many houses do you have at this moment?
So we have 3 houses in Homewood. We have a total of 16 beds available. Each man will get a single room. We don't put 2 guys in one room, because when you're talking about re-entering community, some guys had a cellmate for 10 years. So they don't want to come into this environment and have to have another roommate after
Right.
they've just had a cellmate.
Right.
So, understanding the prison lifestyle, like, I had to take time to understand veterans and that population and their culture. And then understand prison, that you don't want it to resemble prison. You want it to be a home. You want it to have their own space. You want them to be able to retreat to a safe place when there's chaos. So the 3 homes we have 16 beds available. And they're transition housing. So the first guy who gets out of jail, depending on his needs, he may go to the first house. Once he does well there, we move him to the second house. He probably has a job. By the time he gets to the third house, he probably has a job, a car, and a possible permanent housing. So it's a transitional thing so that as
I like that.
you think about rewards and sanctions, as people are doing well, we have to reward them. We can't just keep them stagnant.
Right.
And as the plant grows, you got to unpot it, more roots, bigger pot.
Yeah, yeah.
So we take them out of that house, put them in a bigger house, or maybe a smaller house with less men. That we're identifying their growth and rewarding them for their growth, and there's a transition, and so they continue to move on. A lot of times if they stay there, they get compliant, and then they start to regress because you're not pushing them to grow anymore.
Right, right.
So as uncomfortable as it may be, you got to take them out the pot, replant them, and continue that growing period.
What's your plan for your business for this year?
So for this year is establishing a nonprofit. I want to acquire a facility where veterans can receive trade skills. It's not. I don't want to duplicate what's already out there,
Right.
but I want it to be veteran specific.
Yeah.
Because that's a different population. So we get more property, a unique property where we can do trade skills, and then where the veterans can serve the community, where the community can come and they can get services provided by the veterans, so that it's kind of a giving back. After you get yours, you give back. So
Yeah.
that's the goal for 2025. I'm not too good at setting many goals because when you're dealing with life, it changes, daily.
Yeah.
So you can have a plan. I have a plan, but when you're dealing with people in reentry and addiction,
Yeah.
it can change the course at any time. So you have to be flexible in planning. But then, there's a scripture that says, you plan your steps. You make a plan, and God will plan your steps.
Yeah,
So I
yep.
just leave. I have a plan, but I'm leaving up to Him to show me which way we're going to go.
Yeah, yeah. What is the ratio for inmates that are veterans? Is it high?
It's not. I can't really speak to the ratio, but there are certain institutions that have a veterans pod. So if you go to SCI Mercer, they have their own pod where they're separate from the rest of the jail, where they receive specific services. Because when you look at veterans, you're dealing with people sometimes that PTSD,
Right.
mental health.
Right.
So they've suffered from different trauma. Maybe they served post 9/11, Iraq, Afghanistan. So it would be unfair just to put them in general population because they're not dealing with general problems. A lot
Right.
of these guys were fine when they left, and they came back, with problems or addictions. And so I like that about the criminal justice system in Pennsylvania having a veteran pods where veterans can receive, veteran services.
So what made you gear towards the veterans?
So other than the movie that I watched, but if you think about a veteran who stood a post on Christmas Eve for us or protected the country and not knew who we were, they don't know
Right.
us personally.
Right.
I think they provided a great service that sometimes we take for granted and don't realize that you and I can sit here comfortably now because there's not bombs they can't drop here. I mean, they could
Yes.
probably do it if they wanted to, but because we have a military, we have men and women who want to protect the country, I felt like I wanted to give them the same protection in the capacity that I can deliver it. Right? I never served in the military, but as a citizen, I can provide, what I can provide as a protection to the men. So, and housing is very important. So and then a camaraderie that happens because they're veterans. So they start to share their stories. We know they all been through boot camp, so there's a level of understanding of accountability.
Right.
So they just kind of mesh together well because they come from the military background.
Right. Right.
So it works when me dealing with that specific population.
That's so cool that you never served, but yet you're willing to lend a hand to those who, like you said, protect us.
Right.
And gave us the reason to be the way that we are, to live the way that we are. Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's important that we remember the veterans.
For sure.
Allegheny County is the second largest county in Pennsylvania with homeless vets. Homewood has the largest population of black veterans.
Get out of here.
Pittsburgh. So
I didn't know that.
they're everywhere. They're around us, and It'd be cool if we could just show them our thanks and gratitude
For
for the
sure.
service that they've done.
For sure. My grandmother had 9 kids, and out of her 9 kids, I want to say 5 of them went into the
Veterans.
service. Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah, a lot of people, they went to, a lot of blacks went to the military for different reasons. If you watch different movies, white men they want to fight and serve. Sometimes, black men had to go to be able to provide for their family or get out of that community, or it was a chance to become something. Where now, it's the NFL and it's basketball, but then it was, I could go to the service and become something. So it can be a very successful career, the military.
For sure.
The benefits are well, and the purpose is a good purpose to serve and protect.
I thought about it. I thought about going into the military when I was in high school. I wanted to be a lawyer, and I thought a JAG was so cool.
Yeah.
So
That's one of my favorite movies, Few Good Men. I don't know if you've ever seen Few Good Men,
yes,
but
I have.
that's one of my favorite movies.
Yeah, it's a really good movie. Well, I think we pretty much touched on a lot of things, and I really appreciate you coming and sitting with us. And it was amazing to meet you. I was looking at your shirt a lot. You want to show
House of Veterans. Yep. So, we don't have much marketing because we like to keep it not private, but intimate.
Okay.
But we're not hard to find.
Okay.
I don't have any emails or anything like that. Just because, during my building season, when God called me out of my career for my calling, I didn't have time to take notes and put anything together. I just had to follow. So a lot of people say, well, let me see your business plan or let me see your website. I didn't have, when you're following the Lord, you don't have time to generate those things.
Right.
Because it's a place you've never been. So if you take your eyes off of him, you'll get lost.
Yeah.
And so I focused on that. And so it's been a great journey, and it's going to be a long one. But we're available, and people can find us if they we're in a veteran community. We speak of veterans. House of Veterans is a name you're going to hear when you talk about veteran community in Pittsburgh.
That's good. That means that you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. You're making waves. That's definitely what's up.
Yeah, it works.
Yeah, that's really good. I'm so happy, again, to have you. And I feel the same way. Like, I started this years ago, but I never like I was baby stepping. Not even baby stepping. I don't even know what you want to call it, but. Justin came around and he was like, listen, you got a great idea. You got to, your heart's in the right place. Your mind's in the right place. You have to get this off the ground. You have to get this moving because you're going to save so many lives. You're going to help so many people, and basically motivated me to be like, you know what, let's go. Let's do it.
Right. And I think that's the unique part is that you want to help people. Whenever there's a need, there's a business. But I don't like to call it a business. I like to call it a ministry or serving people because there's really no check amount that you can write on somebody's life.
True.
I had a veteran who was from Wisconsin, young white male, incarcerated. I met him down at a recovery clinic, addict, heroin, and I sat and talked with him. And he just said he wanted to get out the environment he was currently at. So I took him into the House of Veterans. Long story short, this guy went to Veterans Court. He graduated successfully. He met his wife, who's now his wife. They have a home in Erie. They have 4 kids. And one of the coolest things about it was their first child. They came back to Pittsburgh and asked if I could be the child's godfather, which was just like, here's this family that I don't really know.
Right.
This guy from Idaho or Wisconsin, and he's built enough relationship and trust in me to say, if I'm not available, take care of my child.
Yeah.
And so you can't really get a paycheck that's going to add up to that amount of love and relationship and respect.
Yep.
So, you'll have those stories, and you have to draw on those stories when you're in your drought season or your waiting season.
Right.
But you remember those people who have come through your program and were very successful. And that'll remind you why you're doing what you're doing, because it's being an agent of change is difficult. It's not an easy task. It's going to try you. It's going to run you into the ground here and there. But if it's your purpose, you're built for it. So you'll be all right.
Well, I'm ready. I'm excited. I'm excited. Yeah. Well, I guess we can wrap this up.
Okay. Well, I appreciate being here. I wish you success.
Thank you.
I know it's going to be successful. just be encouraged, and you keep doing this here. People are going to hear about you, know about you, and they'll be calling you.
I can't wait. I can't wait. And I will be in touch if I need you.
Right. Yep.
Well, it's nice
All right.
meeting
Good.
you.
Yep. Pleasure. You take care.
You do the same. Thank you for viewing Dreamcatchers Podcast second episode. If you want to know more information about my guest Dante Works, go over to dreamcatchers.org, and anything you're looking for will be there for you. Also, we will be showing you when our next episode 3, will be dropping.